his training routine today. Jesus Christ, man. Like, no wonder he's in insane shape. He would swim sometimes for 5 hours a day. 5 hours of just laps in the pool. He doesn't fight like anybody else.
Yeah. It's all right.
I just get very frustrated.
So that's boxing at its finest right there. You heard it. They said it. Make that bad. Everything on the line. You know, that's old school right there.
I don't know what his status is currently, but when in terms of big names, Tank is the big name at 30.
Joe Rogan once watched Gervonta Davis in training, and the experience left him genuinely impressed. He admitted he had no idea just how intensely Tank pushes himself day after day, showing relentless dedication without missing a beat.
He's in insane shape. He would swim sometimes for 5 hours a day. 5 hours of just laps in the pool. He starts his day at 4:30 in the morning. So 4:30 in the morning, he gets up, eats breakfast, and has his first training at 5. At 5, it's all conditioning. It's all like running, rowing, biking, takes a break, eats again, takes a little nap, back in the gym again, like 2 hours. And then he's sparring, boxing, doing all that workout. Then eats, takes a break, relaxes a little bit. Evening session is boxing. An evening session, he's sparring, he's hitting mitts, he's hitting the bag, gets up in the morning.
Joe Rogan was stunned after watching training footage of Gervonta Davis, taking note of his sharp, focused, and explosive presence in camp. He described him as an extremely efficient fighter, someone who studies his opponent carefully before delivering a single powerful shot.
Right. He's so economical. Like, he puts pressure on guys without throwing too many punches, and then starts to figure holes out, and the way he can explode and move in with one shot, my God.
Yeah, he's very explosive. He's very explosive, and man, he be cracking them dudes. Hey, he be putting them to sleep.
Just cracking people.
Yeah.
And he has so much confidence in his power. So much confidence in his power that he doesn't give who he's giving away.
Joe Rogan described Gervonta Davis as having a dangerous, Mike Tyson-like presence, highlighting his compact frame, explosive power, and calm, patient style in the early stages of a fight where he throws less but reads everything carefully. He may not be the tallest in the ring, but he's extremely calculated with his output, holding back in the opening rounds and throwing very little as he studies everything in front of him. It's almost like he's processing data, reading every move with precision. Gervonta Davis is putting in serious work in camp, fully locked in on rebuilding peak condition, refining his timing, and sharpening every aspect of his game as he prepares for a strong comeback.
They master at what they do, but they're not complete fighters. Some of them have speed, some of them have just power, some of them just have footwork, but they don't have the whole thing. I believe I have the whole package. I mean, that's what makes me a good boxer. A great boxer.
Speaking alongside Joe Rogan, Bernard Hopkins also warned about the threat posed by Gervonta Davis. He emphasized how quickly Davis can explode into action, carrying fight-ending power that can shift everything in an instant. According to Hopkins, Tank is incredibly crafty. His explosiveness is deceptive, and he thrives when opponents get too confident. Just when it seems like you're in control, he capitalizes on that moment, using a refined, old-school approach to turn the fight in his favor.
He's the power. He's sneaky. Explosive. You think you're doing something, and he rides off that overconfident, where now he recognized.
Calvin Ford made it clear that when Gervonta Davis steps into the ring, he comes in with a purpose. There's no hesitation. He knows exactly what needs to be done. According to Ford, the preparation phase is over, the learning stage is behind him, and now everything is about execution. The moment has arrived, and it's time for him to prove it.
On a mission. Because he understands that he got to put his pants on, training wheels going. You got what you asked for.
Terrence Crawford also shared his thoughts on Gervonta Davis, describing him as highly driven and extremely dangerous. He mentioned that Davis is ready to face anyone right now, showing no hesitation. According to Crawford, Tank is constantly in the gym, fully committed to the sport, and fueled by a deep passion for boxing. With a clear objective in mind, he remains locked in and determined to reach the top.
Confidence in his power. So much
Definitely.
confidence in his power. He doesn't give a who he's giving away a couple
Yeah, he
rounds
definitely
in the
be
game.
giving away rounds, but you know, he just in his mind, he know it's a matter of time before I catch.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with Tank. You know, these fighters. You know, you got to be aware.
A host from Cigar Talk pointed out that while Gervonta Davis is a skilled boxer, his most defining trait is his devastating punching power. He explained that this raw strength has been with Davis since childhood, giving him an edge over other fighters and making him a serious threat every time he steps into the ring.
Obviously, is that devastating power, right? Like, he could box, you know, he got skills, but that's to me what separates him from everybody else is that his power is just.
He was little.
That's what I'm saying. Is his power like that as a kid,
He
though?
was little. I used to call them Mercedes and BMW smashed together. You know, they.
Jorge Masvidal also highlighted Gervonta Davis as a prime example of a fighter with a true dog mentality. He explained that top-level competitors often become more aggressive and willing to take risks once the action begins. According to Masvidal, Davis has the ability to flip a switch in those moments, locking into a relentless win-at-all-costs mindset when it matters most.
Biggest part in it, you know,
Really?
in being a fighter. Yeah, because you could be a great athlete. One day you're gonna come across another great athlete. You know, it's who's got more dog in him.
Do you think Wonder Boy's mean? I think he's secretly mean.
It has to be. You know? He's very, very, very competitive. You know, he's the nicest dude.
Yeah.
One of the coolest guys, and a for real nice guy. Like, I've met him numerous times off camera, just me and him chilling, and the dude's genuinely like a good dude, you know. But once he gets in there, he's hyper competitive. He wants to win at all costs. He's gonna put himself at harm's risk to make sure he gets that W, man. I've always liked Wonder Boy, man.
Stephen A. Smith described Gervonta Davis as one of the biggest attractions in the sport today, crediting his explosive knockout ability and aggressive approach for drawing massive attention. He even compared Davis to Mike Tyson, pointing to his willingness to engage and hunt for a definitive finish. Smith also emphasized that Davis is rarely put in serious danger inside the ring, which only reinforces his reputation as a powerful and intimidating presence in boxing.
Is the #1 attraction in boxing. He's the #1 attraction in boxing. He will finish you.
Yeah.
He will close. And this brother comes, and he's one of those guys. They call him the mini Mike, as a Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
He's willing to take a punch to give it now.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen him hurt. He got bruised.
Yep.
He might have bruises, but I ain't seen nobody wobble him. I ain't seen anybody.
Greg Hackett expressed strong excitement about the return of Gervonta Davis, stressing that every time he steps into the ring, there is genuine knockout danger for whoever stands across from him. He also voiced hope that Davis will be matched with a serious, high-level opponent who can bring real legitimacy to the bout. Overall, he made it clear that fans should just be glad Tank is back in action.
Tank coming back. Tank's exciting. All the guys are exciting, but Tank is always a big question mark when Tank get in the ring. Is somebody about to get knocked out? You know what I mean? I just hope it's a good guy.
Canelo Alvarez predicted a tightly contested matchup between Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson, suggesting the fight could go either way early on. He highlighted Stevenson's quick footwork, sharp timing, and elusive style as major challenges for any opponent. At the same time, he acknowledged Davis's heavy hands and constant forward pressure as key weapons that can shift the momentum at any moment. Despite expecting a competitive battle, Canelo ultimately leaned toward Davis to come out on top.
Shakur Stevenson is a good fighter. He moves a lot, and it's very difficult to get hit. To hit him. But I like Gervonta Davis.
Okay.
He's a really good fighter. He hits hard, and he knows how to go forward. So
at this stage, it's still nothing more than speculation, as no official agreement has been made and the options remain open for all sides. Shakur Stevenson responded to the ongoing discussion by saying he is willing to take the fight, but also made it clear he won't sit around waiting or pursue it unless there is full commitment from everyone involved.
At the end of the day, once again, if somebody says they never gonna fight me,
then you can't rely. Yeah, you gotta move on.
I don't need you,
gotta
bro.
move on.
In a recent interview, Shakur Stevenson made it clear that his goal is to secure the biggest possible fights in boxing. He brought up major names like Gervonta Davis as part of those conversations, signaling the level of competition he's aiming for. Stevenson added that he is willing to face anyone as long as it makes sense for his career, emphasizing that his main focus is proving he is the best fighter in the sport.
Biggest fight in boxing happened. Okay. I guess whatever our interpretation of that would give us the answer, but I don't know what you consider the biggest fight in boxing.
It ain't about what I consider the biggest fight in boxing. It's what y'all consider the biggest fight in boxing. So y'all know what that means.
Is it Tank Davis?
Like I said, I would like to make the biggest fight in boxing happen.
Holy smokes. That would be something. The bottom line is you have a lot of great options right now. Do you agree?
Yes.
There's a lot of big names that we've just discussed, and any one of those would be pretty damn big.
Yeah, like I said, I'm down with whatever, whatever makes sense. But once again, I would love to make the biggest and best fights happen. I would love to make the most competitive fights happen, and I would love to show the world why I am.
Shakur Stevenson has made it clear that he wants the biggest and most competitive fights in boxing, aiming to prove he is the best in the sport, while Gervonta Davis also responded to a potential matchup by saying the outcome is already clear in his mind, but admitting it would still be a huge fight for boxing if it ever happens. Meanwhile, Stevenson has shown interest in major clashes like a possible fight with Devin Haney and even Ryan Garcia, stressing that everything depends on timing and terms, while remaining confident in his defensive skills and overall ability to handle any top opponent.
Haney, he got his game, but my game is at a higher level. My defense is way better. I could stand there in front of guys and defend myself. And I don't think Devin Haney has the type of defense I got that.
I totally agree with you on that. Where's my camera? I totally agree with him on that. And I like that.
And he's a hell of a fighter,
He's
though.
a good fighter, but he's not you. He's not you.
I agree.
He's not you. Is that a fight you want against him, or do you believe that there should be bigger fights on the horizon for you than a Devin Haney fight?
Nah, I think the Devin Haney fight is a big fight. I think it can happen. I think it just got to make sense. With Ryan Garcia, he just said he'll come down to 144 pounds. So if he'll come do that and it makes sense, let's do it.
Would you rather fight Ryan Garcia or Devin Haney?
I would rather fight either or. I think...
Roy Jones Jr. pointed out that Shakur Stevenson sometimes lets opportunities slip right after he successfully defends incoming punches. He suggested that if Stevenson stayed in a tighter range following those defensive moments, he could capitalize faster on openings, land sharper counters, and punish opponents more effectively when they overextend.
At 147 between him and Devin, Shakur.
That's a tough fight. I like both of those styles together, but I do think that Shakur is just more defensively aware, sound and aware. It's possible that Shakur may win that fight. I feel like he's a problem for a lot of guys because of his style. But Devin and both of those styles together, that's a great mashup. And I don't know. That's actually really good.
Shane Mosley described a potential clash between Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney as an extremely tight matchup that would be difficult to predict. He leaned slightly towards Stevenson, but also emphasized Haney's experience at the elite level, especially his strong performances against top-tier opponents like Vasily Lomachenko. Mosley added that Haney's reach advantage and long-range control could create serious problems for Stevenson, noting that Shakur has occasionally struggled in sparring with taller fighters, including sessions involving Terrence Crawford, which could hint at similar challenges in a real fight.
They overextend.
It started on a hold and it moved to another. It started on a hold and it moved to another. When we gonna get a pawn dug? We're not, because it's taking off the job too much. You gotta leave on the job for it to get a pawn dug. And that's his only thing. He a great fighter. He got great eyesight. He has great reaction time. He gonna be a great fighter. He just gotta figure out how to use them feet a little different.
Is he the best defensive fighter out of all four of them?
Right now, defensive, yes, because his defense is with his feet. So what people don't understand, defense isn't with your hands, it's with your feet. And he has the best foot defense of the game. Mm-hmm. So if he uses it for defense, when it's strictly defense, yes. But when you want to make it offensive, you can't do the same. You gotta cut it in half. And that's the only thing he had a problem with. Once he learned that, or figures that out, he gonna be a killer.
Would the skill he has now make him the best out of them four?
Right now, no. Because some people gonna say, boy, and the reason the rest of them don't want to fight him is because they know he know that back foot game so well that he's not gonna engage until he wants to engage. Mm-hmm. And that's a good thing too. But for the fans, and to be
not right now,
the ratings, you gotta be able to engage. When they
Greg Hackett doesn't believe either Shakur Stevenson or Devin Haney are avoiding each other. Instead, he explained that the situation is more about physical matchups and weight advantages than fear. He noted that Stevenson is naturally the bigger man in the discussion and would want the fight to happen on fair terms. Hackett also suggested that any decision for Haney to move up or down in weight would depend entirely on what makes sense competitively. Still, he added that this matchup is unlikely to happen anytime soon and may only materialize later in their careers.
And they did the sanctioned bodies and all that did to make them fight.
If they do fight, who you think gonna win?
I actually don't know. I mean, my mind says Shakur probably win. But then I see the great work they did with Loma, or that he fight with Loma, and overcome a lot of different obstacles in that fight. It could be hard for Shakur. Sugar Shakur, right? Sugar Shakur Stevenson. As they call it. It'd be hard for him for the long range, the height, how big he is, stuff like that. And then what makes me think even more is when Shakur stayed spar with Crawford, and he had lots of problems with Crawford. Even though Crawford wasn't punching him hard or whatever, but you know what he had problems with? He had problems with the long arms and the height of Crawford. So he couldn't counterpunch like he wanted to. With Crawford probably wouldn't hit him hard, but it's different, he's longer and stuff, it's harder. So that could be a problem for Shakur.
Shakur, I just think it's one of them situations. Shakur, he naturally a lot bigger than me. I want to at least have some type of advantage. You know what I mean? So if it's bringing him back down, so be it. But, I think that fight, the way it's looking, that fight not going to happen anyway till probably 2030.
Haney's biggest fights, a lot of his big fights have come against southpaws. He fought Loma, he fought Regis, I think he fought Jojo Diaz, a couple other southpaws. So he's pretty good with southpaws, and his jab might cancel Shakur's jab out a little bit because Shakur has a great southpaw jab, Haney has a great orthodox jab, so they might cancel each other out a little bit, and Haney's the longer, bigger guy. So I think that Shakur might be a little better pound for pound, but if you're talking about them getting in the ring and fighting each other, I don't know who wins that fight, especially if Haney can come in comfortable and walk in that ring 165 pounds. I'm not sure who wins that fight. Devin Haney can fight. He can fight. He's not as smooth with his defense and stuff as Shakur, but he's very alert. He understands what he wants to do. He seems to have a real good team.
Donnie Nelson described Devin Haney as a tall, durable competitor who performs well under high-pressure situations in major fights. He pointed out Haney's experience against southpaws such as Vasily Lomachenko and Regis Prograis as a potential advantage heading into a matchup with Shakur Stevenson. Nelson also noted that both fighters rely heavily on sharp jabs, which could neutralize each other, although Haney's physical size may give him the edge. While he still rates Stevenson very highly on a pound-for-pound level, he admitted the fight is extremely difficult to predict and would be a tough challenge for Shakur.